I don't see it as a problem that museums are becoming digital. I think that they sort of work in parallel, but because of the fact that not everyone has the sort of ability or privilege, as you say, to live life offline, I think that the parallel of museums and institutions sort of building out their digital archives and escaping the sort of brick and mortar architecture is granting far more people across the world like that ability to experience and engage with the work.
It gives a different sense of connectivity because you don't have to look at something one-on-one to have something be experienced globally. So it's given a completely different sense of resonance to work that can be made.
I think that the museum of a digital world is probably what we're starting to see, which is individual curators creating digital platforms that allow them to showcase art in the way that they want to online. I don't think that means that the physical manifestation of that goes away. In fact, I think there's probably will forever be a bridge to sort of physicality.
You know, my relationship with museums, sort of as a civilian, not as a professional, I enjoy the old idea of a museum, actually. One of the reasons I'm so critical of attempts to make museums more interactive or more digital is that because in my professional life I already do that. And I haven't seen museums do it as well as the commercial world.
And museums have been really slow to adapt, in part because they've relied on their systems for so long that the overhaul that it would take to translate or transition to another sort of system would take years.
And so I wonder if one of the reasons that the digital work that you see in museums feels a little bit ham-fisted is just because they're not in that world. They're an older institution trying to adapt, just like an older company trying to catch up with technology. And they've got incentives and long culture in the old way of doing things. And so it's very hard for them to look at new technology as anything other than a more expedient, efficient way of doing the thing they're already doing. You know, or they haven't developed a grammar around their technology to really do something interesting and creative.
I mean, in 2012, I want to say, Marissa Olson coined the term post-internet, which doesn't describe art after the internet, but sort of explains it as like the internet is a precondition for all of the art that's being made now.
So the response to that type of culture being digital art forms that move faster and that move around spaces quicker, to me doesn't detract from whether or not the art is valid or has a place or is experienced. It's experienced in the way it's meant to on the internet, right?
All of these creative expressions are satisfying not just when they are part of culture, but when they react to culture. You know, an example I would give is that I don't think anyone would have been interested in abstract expressionism before photography. There's no need. What is this? The reason to paint is to represent the real world, but then when that went away, then obviously there's a reaction to that.
Museums are repositories of culture. You know, they're not going to go away. But I think what they have to do is incorporate technology into the museums so that they can deal with work that is not just paintings on a wall.
I think there is an opportunity for technology to create new ways and bridges to reinvent the experience of what it means for someone that cares about art attending to the museum and the way they actually interact with with the museum itself once you're there.
And so for me, it's like, well, would a museum be, would even be a physical space? Well, my answer to that is, well, would it even be a museum? Right? I mean, we'd just have to reframe everything.